Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great day. Hope all of you having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we got the 2-for-1 special. 2 previews, 1 video. Who says no to that? I don't think anybody's going to be too opposed. If you are, you're going to have to get over it. We got Oklahoma. Hold on, let me set down my coffee. Film this in the morning. Climbing up to the Oklahoma Sooners versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Top 20 teams. I believe that is, a night game. ABC in Neyland Stadium. Is Oklahoma going to be ready? Probably not. We're going to get to that in just a second. And our other top 20 matchup in the SEC as well we're going to be talking about is the Vanderbilt Commodores. Yes. Imagine telling someone before the season that Vanderbilt was going to be a top 10 team in, not Oklahoma. Texas was barely going to be inside the top 20. Yeah, that is a sight to see. But rather or less, we get Texas versus Vanderbilt at Texas. That is a noon Eastern kickoff, 11 a.m. Central if you're in the Central Time Zone like myself. Let me know in the comment section, which game captivates you the most? I feel like most people would say, oh, Matt, well, it's got to be Vanderbilt and Texas. But for me, no. It's Oklahoma and Tennessee. And the reasoning for that is because if y'all haven't been paying attention to my rankings, not the AP nerds, but the MBG poll, I have Tennessee at number 8. I still think they are easily a playoff team. Look at their 2 losses to top 5 teams, Georgia and Alabama. I know you are probably sick and tired of me saying this, but I have to bring it up when I talk about it. They should have beat Georgia. Kirby Smart's words, not mine. And against Alabama, if it wasn't for that 14-point swing before half, who knows what would have happened in that game. I think Tennessee is a really good football team, and I want to see if they can go out here and continue to back up what I've been saying about them. And who doesn't love to see the Volunteers at night at Neyland Stadium? That is an insane atmosphere, one of the best in the country. If you are somebody that's just getting into college football, or maybe you're not from the States and you're like, hey, Matt, what's a good college football experience? I'd point to this right here. You got to go to Knoxville at night. I've been there myself. It's incredible, but that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. But since we got Vanderbilt and Texas kicking off earlier, why don't we start with them first? I said this when talking about the Vanderbilt-Alabama game. I said this when talking about the Vanderbilt-LSU game, and I'm going to say it again here because we're going to have Texas fans tuning into this video thinking, oh, well, yeah, Vanderbilt's having a nice Cinderella run, a Cinderella season, but it's still the same old Vanderbilt. We should beat them. They're the nerds. But like Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. If you were thinking that way heading into this matchup, you are highly, and I mean you are highly misinformed. Vanderbilt is a good team, whether you want to believe it or not. This isn't a fluke by any stretch of imagination. They have a gimmicky offense that is extremely hard to stop with Pavia. We'll get to him in just a second, but their defense has vastly improved compared to last year. Do they have a great defense? No, but it's good enough to keep them in games and win games. They held Alabama to 23 points outside of a last-second touchdown. I want to make that well known early on because I know we're going to have a lot of Texas fans tuning into this video. Shout out to Longhorn Nation. Greatly appreciate you guys. It's all respect and love from my end. Please, and I'm begging you for your sake, take Vandy seriously. Psychologically, it's hard for the fan base to do, and it's going to be hard for the players to do because you're going to look at and go, oh, well, that's just Vanderbilt. I'm telling you, it's not just Vanderbilt. They're a top 10 team for a reason. Guess I need to throw this in there before we even start talking about the game itself. We don't know, or as to when I'm making and film this video on Wednesday morning, we don't know if Arch Manning's going to play or not. But I'll let this be known early on whether or not Arch Manning decides to give it a go, or if he can give it a go, it's not going to change my decision on this game, not even to the slightest. I said this a couple days ago when we talked about how Arch Manning's in the concussion protocol. I think the backup is just as good as him. 1A, 1B. There's not a big drop-off there because, yeah, Arch Manning, he's had some flashes of greatness, but he's also been insanely inconsistent. And look at the backup when he's been thrown into the game against Florida. Throw a rope on that one play. And then, what happened last week? He threw the game with a touchdown. That was one of the best passes you're ever going to see. He dropped it in a bucket. Moving along here, let's pull the line for this game. Last time I checked, because I have already seen it, we did that on the video on Monday. Texas was favored by 1.5 or 2 points. Got it right here, so it's Texas minus 2.5. Hasn't changed too much. Texas has struggled mightily in their past 2 games, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I love the resiliency. That is what championship teams do. You find a way to win in which you probably should have lost the game. They did that in back-to-back weeks. There's something to be said about that. I know people are giving them a ton of crap for struggling with 2 of, if not the 2 worst teams in the SEC, in Mississippi State and Kentucky, but winning on the road in the SEC, it's hard to do. I don't care who you play. So I'm actually going to take up a little bit for Texas there, but here's what I will say. If you play the way you did against State and Kentucky, against Vanderbilt, they might blow you out of the water. Do I think Texas will play that way? No, and I hope they don't. But here, no, do I think Texas will play that way? No, and I hope they don't. But I've also seen Vanderbilt blow out a decent South Carolina team at South Carolina. Vanderbilt's going to score points. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'd be beyond shocked if Texas can hold them to under 20 points. And here's the thing. If Vandy scores around 24, 27, 28 points, I think that's going to be enough to win the game. Maybe more than enough, because you know what we're about to talk about next. Leads me into my next topic perfectly. The Texas offense. Can we count on them? Can we depend on them? Heck to the no. We don't know what in the world we're going to get there, whether it's Arch Manning or Matthew Caldwell starting for this team. Take away Arch Manning being inconsistent. You know who else has been inconsistent? The offensive line. Sometimes they want to block. Other times, not so much. I'm not even talking about making the playoff and winning a championship. If you want to beat Vanderbilt this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time, you have to be consistent. You can't play great football for 70% of the game and bad football for 30%. No, you're going to lose. So here's my question. Here is my challenge for this Texas football team. Can you play an entire, complete game? I know this is a big if, but if they do that, they win this game easily. But I don't think they're going to do that. You know what I think is going to happen? Vandy, like they've done with every team this year, even Alabama in the game in which they lost, they are going to give them fits and troubles on offense and defense. Texas is going to struggle to move the ball at times, and they're going to struggle to get off of the field. What makes Vanderbilt so good is their third down conversion rates, and their third downs are always super short. It's normally 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and the playbook is wide open as offensive coordinator. And when you have Pavi as a quarterback, you can draw up anything. Run pass options. One of my favorite plays to look out for is that shovel pass. It's like the perfect pick and roll. You can't defend it if it's executed well. I think it's going to be an extremely close game. I can't wait for it. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I can't pick against Texas at Texas. Can't do it. I got to go with the Sharknado and the Longhorns. They're going to be taking this one pretty low scoring. I'll say Texas 21, Vandy 17. 21-17, mark it down. Moving along here to our second game of the video, second game of the preview. We got Oklahoma. The Sooners versus Tennessee. I have no idea what the line is for this game. If I had to guess what Oklahoma coming off of that not so great loss, Tennessee's going to be favored by about, we'll say 4 to 5 points. Pulling up the line right here. Oh, wow, I was pretty close. Tennessee is favored by 3.5. Not too bad, not too bad. Well, I just thought about this as I'm looking at it. Both teams are 6-2. Yep, this is a playoff game. Every game from this point on for Oklahoma and Tennessee is a playoff game. Winning, you're in. Simple as that. 10-2 in the SEC is more than enough to get in. Obviously, much easier said than done, because you got a big task on your hand. Not if you're just Oklahoma, but if you're Tennessee as well. Oklahoma's got some talent, man. They got the guys to compete. I know John Mateer's been struggling as of recent, but look at him early in the year. He was on fire. Everybody thought he was going to run with the Heisman Trophy. How does Oklahoma win this game? Well, for starters, and it all starts with him, Mateer's got to get his head out of his butt. He's got to play like I know he can play. He's better than what he's shown these past couple of weeks. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And I'm glad I brought it up because we talk about Arch Manning being inconsistent, but what about Mateer? He's been inconsistent. He looked awful in those final 2 drives against Ole Miss, and the thing that has set him back and set back this Oklahoma offense, his decision-making. He can't read and process the defense. Been making some terrible throws. On the flip side for Tennessee, don't even get me started. I love everything about this team, from Aguilar to Bishop, Brazil, man. I can't get enough of them. This is one of the better teams in the nation. I'm telling you, Tennessee's going to wake you up this Saturday night. Y'all are going to have to get over this whole stigma of, Tennessee's got 2 losses. I'm just writing them off. No. Look who they lost to. And it's not like they got blown out. They competed in those games. The thing that does have me a little bit wary about Tennessee this year is the defense. It's not so great, but the offense, it more than makes up for it. One of the best offenses in the nation. I like the Oklahoma defense, but this is nothing more, nothing less than pattern recognition. If you couldn't stop Trindad Chambliss and the Ole Miss offense, why would that lead me to believe you're going to stop an even better offense and Josh Heupel, a.k.a. Bobby Heupel, Bobby Hill, and Joey Aguilar? You're not going to stop them. It's going to be worse. We know what's going to happen. They're going to establish a run. They're going to run all over you, and then Joey Aguilar is going to chunk up those, what they call them. See, the public calls them 50-50 balls where you just chunk one up, but Tennessee actually calls them 70-30, 80-20 balls because they think their star wide receiver, Brazil, he's just going to go up and get it. Worst case scenario, it's pass interference or it's incomplete. They don't even think well, they could pick it off. No. That doesn't come across their mind. Here's what this game comes down to for me. I don't trust the Oklahoma offense. I don't trust the Oklahoma defense. So why in the world would I pick them in this game? I didn't even bring this up. It's on the road. Tennessee is better on offense. They're better on defense. They have the home field advantage. They also have the better head coach, and I think they have the better quarterback. So you probably know where I'm going with this. I got the Volunteers in this one. There's nothing that points to, oh yeah, Oklahoma can pull off this upset, or we'll call it a mini upset. Nothing at all. This one's fairly simple for me. I'll take the Volunteers in this one. We'll say Tennessee 37 to Oklahoma's 24. 37-24, mark it down. Kind of a high-scoring game, but it could get up there. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. But